nobody else is watching Ass Punishers 6. What's wrong with you?
I know what we're watching tonight.
Hey guys, welcome to My Spiritual Life. Ex-Jared here, and I got my husband, Morgan.
Oh, no. Wait a second.
Oh, you're not my husband.
What are you saying?
I got my wife, Morgan, here helping me out with today's episode and stuff.
I do not sound like that.
Today we're going to talk about feelings.
Oh, God. Okay, I might sound like that. This is unfair representation.
Ew, icky coffee.
Oh my gosh. It's true. Coffee's disgusting, guys. I'm sorry. It's an acquired taste and I can't do it.
I mean, I'll give you that. It tastes kind of like dirt water, but I love it.
Okay, do you want to tell everyone what we're actually talking about since you're the main man in the video today?
Yeah, I'm taking over the channel. I'm...
Oh, Lord.
As the priesthood holder and head of the household...
Oh, no.
Decided that Morgan should not be in charge. In fact, she wears hijabs now. Where is it?
Oh, my gosh. Guys, I don't know if this video is actually going to happen or not. I'm being honest.
Well, I thought of this idea in the shower today. But
in the cold shower.
In the cold shower. Because real men take cold showers. After running a mile. Didn't run it today, though.
Or yesterday. Or the day before that.
Okay? Yeah, I haven't run the mile this week. I know you gotta be a dick about it.
Sorry, I'll go get my hijab and shut up.
You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Alright, so I gotta backtrack to a funny thing that happened to a guy I know. I'm not gonna say his name because it's kind of embarrassing to him, but...
Oh no!
He's a real nice...
And I don't know this story, guys.
He's a real nice dude. I feel bad for him. He's Mormon, kind of Jack Mormon. Doesn't really... Because he lives with his girlfriend, so obviously he's kind of Jack Mormon. I wasn't there for this story, but I heard about it because he told it to a bunch of assholes who then told everyone.
Oh no!
He's feeling a little bit down. Somebody asks him what's up, and he's like, I don't know, I need some advice. I gotta find a new place to live. And they're like, what happened, man? Are you breaking up with your girlfriend? He's like, I don't know, she might break up with me. Guys, I messed up real bad. I messed up real bad. And they're like, oh, God, did you beat the crap out of her? Like, one of them actually said that, and he said, I'm not kidding you, he said, no, worse.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
What do you mean worse? What did you do? Did you kill her? What? What's worse than beating your wife? Did you cheat on her? No, it was worse. Guys, I really messed up. They're like, what the hell did you do? And he's like, well... thought she was asleep. I went into the guest room. And she caught me mid-fap.
Oh, ew.
She caught him watching porn and jerking off. And he was just distraught. It's funny, but it's also kind of sad, because this is a big deal to him. He thinks that his relationship is over.
It's done for.
And not only that, but now, because they're fine now. Well, he says it's still tender, but...
Well, and let me just put that in perspective really quick, because for those who don't know the Mormon background, it's like porn is like one of the worst things you could do is watching porn. And masturbating's pretty bad, too. They make a bigger deal out of porn than they do masturbation, I think, but that's because they don't like saying the word masturbate. So.
Yeah, they usually just said wanking in church, didn't they?
No, they did not. Okay, so tell us the rest of the story.
She's checking his phone and stuff like that. He has no privacy, and he thinks he's like the bad guy in this situation.
Right.
And trying to kind of joke around with him, tell him it's not that bad. But I'm also trying to tell him, like, look, dude, you didn't cheat on her, okay? I know she probably thinks that it's cheating because that's what she was told, but it's not cheating. And I was like, is she mad because you just at the porn, or is she mad that you jerked off? And he's like, both. And I was like, well, is she banging you every day or something? He's like, no, like once a week. And I was like, well, then you're doing her a favor by jerking off.
Oh my god.
Because you're not constantly pestering her. So I think your jerking off is noble, sir.
Instead of cheating or pressuring her
or sitting there, come on, babe, come on.
Like what I do to you.
Yeah. Morgan horny.
Oh god. I'm never putting you in charge again.
So anyway, I'm in the shower this morning, and I was listening to my playlist on YouTube, and the best song that's ever been written came on, which is the Trapeze Swinger by Iron and Wine.
I really thought you were going to say Call Me Maybe.
Do you know me? Like, have you ever...
We've lived together a while. I know the real you. I know you better than you know you.
Anyway, listen to it. It is like 7 minutes long, but you won't want to stop because it is the best song ever written. And I mean that. Anyway, there's a lot of great lines that I would like to just dissect. I could do a whole YouTube channel on just the lines of this song. It's so great. But this one line kind of struck me because I was thinking about that kid. It's this, he just says, and when the morning came, I was so ashamed, only now it seems so silly. And that phrase, only now it seems so silly, really struck me because there's a lot of times that phrase applies to me right now. Because things that seemed like world-ending, life-changing. Yeah. And it's funny, the change in perspective, because like 5 years ago, I would think back to those things and I'd be filled with rage. Like I'd think back to how I felt because I saw porn one time, or because I stayed up late at my grandma's house who had HBO and I watched like American Pie or something so I could see boobs. And I used to think of like I thought I was the exception. You know, I thought I was worse than everyone else. I thought I was the only one doing this. I was actually watching also Mike Tyson Mysteries. It's on Hulu gosh. Now. It's hilarious. It's really funny. One of my favorite shows ever. And Norm Macdonald plays a pigeon in that show, and he was talking to this kid. And he's an ass, right? He just goes, "You jerking off, kid?" And the kid's like, and the kid kind of like is awkwardly sitting there like he doesn't want to talk about it. And he says, "Because if you are, you're weird and you're the only one doing it."
And then he like evil laughs.
Yeah. I felt like I had that pigeon on my shoulder all the time.
Yes.
Like, man, nobody else is watching Ass Punishers 6. What's wrong with you?
I know what we're watching tonight.
So the stages you go through is really weird because like 5 years ago, I remember when I was first kind of leaving the church, I remember being angry, like losing control angry. I'm not quick to anger generally. Yeah. And I remember putting a lot of thought into it and it probably looked really funny. If you were standing outside, I get into my truck to go home from my friend's house after we had this big long talk about the church, and I just raged. I was punching things. I never do that either. Like
you bought a punching bag for me for Christmas. I punch things more than you.
And I just started punching my steering wheel like enough that it was hurting. So I went through that rage. Like I didn't have to feel this, you know.
Feel this what?
I didn't have to hate myself. A, I wasn't weird. I wasn't the only one doing it. And B, it's a stupid thing to feel crappy about. Yeah. And so I would, for years, I was just angry at that. Now, at this point, I think back to those things and I kind of chuckle almost. The things that I thought were just life-ending, world-changing. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, right. So what you're saying is, like, you felt so bad about yourself because of porn, other things that you were doing that were not, like, the church standards. And then you found out, oh my gosh, like, when you realized I didn't have to feel that way, then you were super mad. And now it's like, oh, it's not a big deal anymore kind of thing?
Yeah,
like,
it's the difference between 15-year-old Jared, 23-year-old Jared, and 28-year-old Jared. 15-year-old Jared was like, I'm the worst thing in the world. I jerked off 8 times in one day.
Impressive.
And then there's 23-year-old Jared that's just like, right. He's just pissed. I didn't have to think that. I wasted so much time being down on myself. And then there's 28-year-old Jared. Maybe I'm just so far removed from it at this point that I'm just like, I thought I was terrible for jerking off.
It's a comforting thing when you put it in that perspective, because it's just that reminder that, like, time heals all. Like, and I remember the first time you tried alcohol. Do you remember that? Of course you do. It was terrible.
I texted you and said, I just had a bunch of rum, LOL.
Yeah, okay. Guys, I was still super TBM, and we were supposed to go to this play. Essentially, like, he's supposed to meet me back at the house so we could go, and he texts me, like, 5 minutes before he's supposed to be home, and is like, hey, I tried rum, LOL, can you come pick me up? And I was crushed. It's like what you were saying about the whole porn thing. Like, I was devastated because at that point, like, I had kind of still been hoping that you'd come back to church, or at least that you would keep the Mormon standards, like, because I wasn't sure, where the line was going to stop. Is it going to stop at alcohol? Is it going to stop at prostitutes? I don't know. Which it sounds, again, it's that perspective that makes it sound silly. But at the time, it's like I really thought that things could get really bad. It's like looking back to that moment, I was so devastated. I was so angry. Remember, I went and picked you up and I, like, yelled at you, like, the whole way to Rexburg.
Yeah, I mean, it was easier through the film of drunk that I was feeling.
Yeah, no, we literally got to the theater. And guys, this was the BYU Idaho campus. And Jared is stumbling drunk through the aisles, like, to go to our seats. I should have just not brought you. But I was so, like, mad and so pressed for time that I didn't, like, have time to make a decision to just, like, leave you behind until it was, like, too late. Anyway, moral of the story was that was really hard. And it was hard for both of us because, I mean, I don't know why it was hard for you. You were drunk. You're fine. But really, though, I'm sure it was probably hard for you because you didn't want it to hurt me, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think you're a jerk, but I don't know. So, anyway, but it was so hard for me just feeling disappointed and hurt and really feeling like that was the end all. Like, that was, like, the worst thing that could happen. And then it's like, I don't know, the more I'm on this journey and the more I connect with other people and I hear their stories and everything, I'm just like, it makes my story really pale in comparison. And it just makes me remember over and over again what's really important and that these things that I was taught are a big deal aren't actually as big of a deal as maybe I originally thought.
Yeah. I'd say the whole point behind these stories is kind of to illustrate sort of
Are you drunk?
It gets better.
What's in there?
Ooh, caffeine.
Okay, take 4.
Okay. The whole point of these stories is to kind of try to illustrate an it gets better moral, Because it was a very relieving sort of feeling to be in that shower and to realize that phrase, only now it seems so silly, that applies to me now. Like, it surprises me the things that I can look back on now and say, that was silly.
Yeah.
Rather than, that was bullshit, and it was bullshit, but I've noticed I could do that. I can do that with my mission. I did not like my mission. I hated every day of it.
Right.
I was bored out of my mind or pissed off. Those were like I alternated between those two things. And I was angry about my mission for a long time. Probably too long. But this is mostly sort of a message for people who feel like they're stuck in the anger phase, because eventually you feel stuck. At first it's invigorating to be angry, you know. You're just taking in this information and you're stoked about it, kind of in a weird way. You're excited to be angry and to feel alive, but eventually you fatigue of being pissed off all the time. Because I've heard people ask a lot, when am I gonna stop being mad? Or am I gonna stop being mad? And eventually, yeah. Like, there'll be things that come up every now and then that still kind of piss me off. But for the most part, I'm like, I learned the lessons. I know to take it seriously when it happens to my kid. Like, if somebody tries to make him feel bad for jerking off, I know, okay, this is serious. Because I remember it was serious back then. And I gotta let him know that it's not a big deal.
Right.
He's going to think it's a big deal. And I gotta tell him, nope, it's actually not. It's a cool lesson that I've learned that I can pass on.
Yeah.
But in my own life, for me, I've gotten to the point where I can say, it was all silly. You know? It was all just kind of a joke. And my life was a joke.
I'm like, this sounds an interesting way to put it.
I'm surprised at what I can laugh at now.
Well, that's good. I think that's good. Well, and I mean, I've watched you go through this whole thing, and I think the thing that's been cool to see for you is how you've realized, you know what, you got to this point where you stopped being angry because you realized you couldn't change the past and that being angry about it wouldn't change anything. I felt like that was a big shift when that happened for you, because then it was like, you know what, instead of like spending all this energy hating your mission and hating that you went on a mission, it was like, you know what, that happened, and I'm here where I'm at right now and trying to move forward. I don't know.
No, it's The Lion King. We talked about we talked about the best song ever written. Now we got to talk about the best animated movie ever written.
Yes.
The Lion King.
Guys, I'm saying oh no because
she's heard
Jared
it.
has, yes. And I love it. I love that you love this.
It's the only part they left out of that god-awful piece of shit remake that they did.
The live action.
It was an insult to everything beautiful. It was basically a shot-for-shot remake, except the scene where Rafiki smacks Simba on the head and he says, ouch, because Simba said it's all in the past. The real antagonist of The Lion King, I'm gonna get hate for this, was Hakuna Matata. Scar was a secondary antagonist. The main antagonist was Hakuna Matata. That's the man-child ideology, right? No worries, nothing matters. You know, it's all in the past. You can't change the past. Simba tells that to Rafiki, and Rafiki smacks him on the head with a stick, and he's like, ow, that hurt. And he said, who cares? It's in the past. He said, you can either run from it or you can learn from it. And that's a big deal to Simba in the moment. But then afterward, 10 years down the line, I don't know what lions' lifespans are. Get off my back, scientists. 10 lion years down the road, Simba says, man, remember when I was scared to take on the responsibility of becoming the king and climbing Pride Rock and fixing all the problems that I ran away from for so long? That was silly. So
there you go.
Yeah, just look forward to when it's all silly.
I think I feel the ex-mormon Holy Ghost, guys. I guess it's a true story.
Yeah, you wanna feel the spirit again. Just watch the scene where Simba climbs Pride Rock. It's the best scene ever.
At the end, like when he takes back over, that's what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say, I think this is something I constantly try to convince myself of, because I'm very much kind of prone to freaking out about things. Sorry.
What?
I said sorry.
Oh.
Shut up!
Shut
up! Oh my god. Okay, so I'm kind of prone to overwhelm and freaking out and anxiety, and it's gotten a lot better as I've worked on it and found tools that have really helped me. But the thing that I keep trying to remind myself is that pattern of like, okay, there's always been times in my life where I thought something was a big crazy deal and that I was never going to get over it, and then I did. So I was literally telling myself this just yesterday because I was freaking out about something, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna figure this out. And then I was like, okay, but I've said that before. So maybe I need to trust that just because I'm positive I won't figure it out, that somehow I will. I hope this is a good reminder for you guys to just, if you're in the thick of it, to realize that it can get better, it will get better, and your perspective can make all the difference in how you feel.
Yep.
Well, you're in the main chair, so you have to do the outro.
Like and subscribe.
Boom.
It's time to offer up yet another prayer for yet another 3 lost souls who've become patrons of this gosh-forsaken channel. Our dear Father in heaven, at this time we would like to pray for Kimmy, Kimball, and Raquel. Lord, please bless them because they have truly gone astray. They have gone astray to the point of contributing money to priestcraft. Not only priestcraft, but blasphemy. Bless them that they will remember to read their scriptures, that they will stop drinking caffeinated beverages, and that they will forsake any and all affiliation with ex-mormon. I say these things in the name of thy gracious, wondrous, beautiful, I almost said sexy. Goodness. I'm like a nun. I'm married to Jesus. Whew. Lord. Even Jesus Christ. Amen.